amazing viewers out there. Good evening. And it's an amazing, once again, to come your way. And, those of us who have not seen me this year, I would like to take this opportunity to wish you a Happy New Year. So Happy New Year, new beginnings. Today, we are just going to ask ourselves, we are going to be be searching, ourselves. I'm going to ask ourselves very, very important questions. Many a times, most of us, we don't know our purpose in life. We don't know why God even created us. We don't even know how we can even explore, our God-given talents. We don't even know. So today, I just want to ask you, why are you here on this earth? And what do you want in life? And then what is the meaning of this life at all? And how well can you describe your purpose? And also, how clearly do you understand what is, what is it that makes your life feel worthwhile? So that we have, a gentleman on the line who has actually taught what purpose is. And that's, I would say has actually also lived it and is now teaching what purpose in life is. Tonight I have with me on the line Pastor Chief Kofi Amoateng Owusu, who will be here to answer these important questions. Pastor Kofi Amoateng is a life coach. Just like I said, he's a pastor and also he's an entrepreneur. And I don't want to, take too much of your time in trying to, tell you who he is, because I think that would be unfair, because maybe I might leave, I'll see, some of the important, details about who he is. So Pastor Kofi Amoateng, welcome to the Inside View. And also, who are you? Because most of us, we just know you as Pastor Kofi, Pastor Kofi, Pastor Kofi. But then I know there's more to Pastor Kofi. So I just want you to just describe yourself. I don't want to describe yourself. I just want you to describe yourself in your own words. Who are you?
Nana, thank you so much. I'm really, really, really excited to be here again. Inside View, I want to say a very good evening to all your listeners and your viewers. And also share in a 1 year celebration with you. So I remember the first time we met, and now I am here again on a very, very important topic that is close to my heart. So Nana, the question, who are you, is a very big question that each and every one of us must be able to define ourselves. I believe of late, this is who I am. I am a husband to one beautiful wife, and a father to 3 very godly children. And who I am really now is one that points people to Christ, and one that helps people to find themselves, help people to find their purpose in life. The question that you asked me, I don't take it lightly, because it's really gives me the opportunity to summarize my life. One day I am not there. I want to be known for one that loved his wife, one that raised great children, one that pointed people to Christ, and one that helped so many people, as many people that my life can come in contact with, to find their reason for being and also live their life. So in a summary, that is who I am. And this who I am question that I've just answered to go forward is really what has helped me right now to, one, become a life coach. So I am a life coach because of what I've just said. Secondly, I've become an entrepreneur now, which I think as we go, we will talk about that. And the reason for the entrepreneurship is also what I've said earlier. And then I've become an author. I write books because of who I am that I've just defined to you. And finally, I am also a pastor. And I'm a pastor because of the definition that I do. So I am that person that really, from the family point of view, loving husband, raising godly children, but to the outside world, I am one that points people to Christ and help people to identify and find their purpose in life and live a happy life. And that is a summary of who I am.
That's amazing. Just like I said, I nearly left, most of the salient points out, and I'm glad you've actually elaborated, so much about who you are. Mr. Kofi, we're seeing, the amazing things that you're doing. And, considering, I don't want to, bring in the facts that maybe I've known you for a long time. No, I just want us to, talk from a neutral background today. You're doing amazing things that I think we are all proud of you. And somebody might think, okay, maybe Pastor Kofi is from maybe a rich background or maybe an influential background. That is why maybe he's doing all this because maybe he was born with a silver spoon or something. So describe the kind of neighborhood that you grew up in, and also how your childhood like that's really shaped the kind of person you want today, because we just want to know your background that has actually propelled you to do what you're doing.
And that is a very fantastic question, and it's the one that really is taking me very, very bad. Let's just give a summary. Tonight, as many people that are watching, I will please ask that you get a piece of paper and write some things down. Normally, when we are talking like this, there will be some things that you can learn. Nana, there are two things that shape life. There are two things that shape life. And everybody listening to me, these two things have shaped your life or will shape your life. I will mention them, and I will look at the point that really shaped my life and really go back as you have asked me. The first thing that shaped life is pain. The second thing that shaped life is pleasure. Some people, their life will be shaped by pain. Some people, their lives will be shaped by pleasure. Fortunately or unfortunately for me, my life has been shaped by pain. What do I mean by this? If I look at where I grew up, probably one of the most painful experiences I've had is the loss of my mother. At the age of 8, I lost my mother. And there are people who are listening to me who probably may also have some of these experiences. I grew up in an environment, to tell the truth, in Ghana, where I grew up with my parents before my mother died. The house that we lived, we have a term that I don't know whether they use the term today, but because we're speaking in English, I'll only explain. We live in a house in Kumasi, or in one of the cities in Ghana, where it's first an uncompleted building. So let's say, Nana, you want to build a house, you build the house from the foundation to a level, and you cannot complete it. So because you cannot complete it, what you do is you find people who can just do one small room in that uncompleted house to live in. You rent it to them, you charge them money, and maybe after a while, then when you have money, then you clear them out. So when I was growing up, I realized that we were living in a house like this. The house was actually very, very uncompleted. But then what we find that in that house, we had about 25 families, different families. If you should count the number of persons in the house, the last time I counted, I got almost about 60 people that were in the house. So I can talk of one family that have grandmother, that have the children who have now had children, and sometimes their children have had children that are living in the house. That is the kind of environment that we grew in. And like I said, at the age of 8, my mother died untimely. Very, very painful. And then we continue to grow up in this environment, myself and my two siblings, who is together we are three, and my father continue to grow up in this environment. That is why I said my life has been shaped by pain. You know, talk about selling water, talk about selling soft drinks, everything that can come to mind today when social service will come to your house and say that this child is abused. I have done that. And that's why I'm giving an example. Things like selling ice water, things like selling pies or selling drink or selling ice blocks and stuff like that just to make ends meet. These were a daily occurrence in my life as I was growing up. And fast forward, it continued till the time that I pushed myself by the grace of God to go to school in all this environment like this. And then the second pain that really hit me when I was in my early 20s, when I lost my father as well. So I look back into my life, and at some point, all I was seeing was one pain, another, from this environment to the other environment. And these were the things that shaped me growing up. But, Nana, like I said, I am proud sharing my story, especially as you asked me this question, because I've discovered something that when it comes to your purpose in life, it's always connected. 95% of people are coming connected with it. It's always connected with its stories. And so somebody watching me may not like his stories, but that is the point that I want to make. This is my story, a little bit of it, and how we grew up. Yeah.
So what was your passion, when you were growing up as a child? Did you have any passion at all?
Nana, I think growing up, I began to see some things. And today, I begin to see that, like I said, my pain is really what has propelled my passion. So anybody that follows me, anybody that is aware of what we are doing or what has brought me to set your platform will understand that it is out of that pain that has really propelled me. So that's why today I said my passion and my purpose, which I'll talk a little deep about as we go on, is to really help people to identify their life. Because what brought me to this level is when at some point I began to resent the pains that I've been through, and I began to run away from it. I began to hide away from it. So I actually growing up did not have so much of a passion. My passion, coming from such a background, negatively was not in negative sense, but in quote, was just to go and make money. My idea was to make money and turn things around, but it is good, but that was not the core of my life until as I began walking and growing up, I really discovered myself, and today I am on the journey of fulfilling it.
That's amazing. Okay, because now that we've now uncovered who Kofi Amoateng Owusu is, I think it's quite right, or in the right direction, to now talk about what you are currently doing. You've written, I would say, more than 2 books, but the book that really, brought you to limelight, I would say, is Alive for a Purpose, and that actually happens to be your first book. And before we go on, I would like to urge viewers online to please share the link, because we are going to talk about a very, very deep, thing or things. So I just want you to bring your daughters and sons, and also if you can, just invite as many people, to listen to this interview. And trust me, your life will never be the same. I can testify to that, because after reading these 2 books, I'm still uncovering myself. I'm still, trying to, still know who, I am. And I don't want to do that alone. I want a lot of people to rediscover themselves, and also to find purpose, and also to find their God-given vision concerning their lives.
Yeah.
So today, I would say that A Life for a Purpose is one of the best books that talks about purpose. So if you've not seen it, A Life for a Purpose, authored by Chief Kofi Amoateng. If you've not had some, it's on Amazon. Yeah, you can get it. Chief, we all, like we talk about purpose, aims, objectives. And sometimes, it's so hard to define what purpose in life is. Because many a times we just ask ourselves, what is the meaning of life? Why are we here on this earth at all? What do we even want in this life? And how well can we describe our purpose? And also, I just also want to ask, how clearly do we even understand what is it that makes our life feel worthwhile? Not that alone. I've got a lot of things here for you. How can purpose, fulfillment, and satisfaction in life be found? How much effort are we putting into making goals a reality? Because after reading, this book, I sat down and, basically I was just doing my own notes alongside. Yeah. And also, how often do we learn something new to help others? So today, we are just going to, find meaning to our purpose. So for starters, what is purpose at all? What's purpose?
That is a very deep, the set of questions you have brought in, and I pray and hope that viewers are taking notes. Like I said, really, these set of questions are timeless, and I hope that by the end of the day, somebody can pick one line, sometimes just one line. Yeah, Nana. In my book, A Life for a Purpose, which I encourage everybody to go and read that book because of the way that book was formed and how it has shaped life and continue to shape life. I give about 10 definitions of purpose so that everybody can really get understanding of purpose from different perspectives. But of late, there are few ones I'm going to just talk about here that really every one of us need to assess ourselves. Purpose is real, purpose is there, but you need conversations like this to really unlock yourself and find yourself. Nana, simply put, purpose is the central self-organizing life aim in every human being's life. It is the central self-organizing life aim. Why do you get up in the morning? It should be something very central in your life that should get you up in the morning. So, as I define it, very simple. My question to somebody watching it: what is the central self-organizing aim to your life? This is where the problem comes in our societies and in our homes. Again, I'll come to that because that is a very key concept and a key definition I don't want you to miss. So I'll come to that and we'll open it up. Secondly, purpose is simply or mightily the reason for my being. So it's the same thing that I've said earlier, but I'm breaking it down. It is the reason for my being. Number three, that's the third definition I will give. Not talk so much on it, but these three definitions are interlinked. Three, it is the why of my existence. It is the why of my existence. So let me go back. Your purpose in life should be the central self-organizing life aim. And this is where the bone of contention is. In other words, as you grow up, especially those who make decisions for ourselves, then we can help our children who are growing up. The question is, what is the central aim to your life? So Nana asked me who I am. And so you see, I said that I am, in a nutshell, one that points people to Christ and one that leads people to find themselves. What I said is myself as a central self-organizing aim. Today it has become a central self-organizing aim. So I can say I have discovered my purpose. Okay. Nana, are you getting the definition right?
Yeah, yep, sure.
Yeah. So that is how we have to define ourselves. Each and every one of us must be able to identify the central organizing aim to our lives. Now, you in your asking of the question, you talked about why it has become a problem. Nana, it has become a problem because as we grow up, the goal of materiality, for instance, is one that is driven inside of us right at a young age. So as we grow up, because a certain goal has been driven deep inside of you, if care is not taken, you will live life and make something at the center of your life. Because no matter who we are, there is something that has already taken center stage of your life. All that I'm asking you is to, in our conversation today, is to point somebody to sit down and look at what we will be talking about as we go ahead, and look at your life and say, this thing that has become the central organizing aim of my life, is it worth it? Are you getting what I mean? Is it something that is worth it? So when we talk of purpose, it's basically the reason why I do what I do. So when I meet people now, when I ask them, the normal question we normally ask people is, hello, how are you? What do you do? This one says, I'm a doctor. This one says, I'm a lawyer. This one says, I'm a singer. No, and now listen to this. If I want to find out whether somebody knows his central self-organizing aim, I ask him this question: why do you do what you do? Why do you do what you do? Hello, your name is Nana Hagan. Nana, why do you do what you do? I don't want you to tell me you are a presenter. I don't want you to tell me that you are a doctor. I don't want you to tell me that you are a nurse. I don't want you to just tell me that, oh, you are a care worker. I want to find out, why do you do what you do? In other words, it is the key to finding out what is the central self-organizing aim in your life. And if you are able to tell me, Nana, are you on? Are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, if somebody is able to tell me, there are indications as we move forward. As I define this and share this, I want to help somebody here. Nana, there are two kinds of purposes on earth in the world. I call it, and if you read my books, it's in there. I call it, you either can have, there are three groups of people. One, there are those who don't have purpose at all. Let's put them aside. They don't have any central aim. We will talk about them as we go there. There are indications that will bring those people out. Then the core people who are confused with the introduction you gave before you gave me this question are two kinds of people. We have what I call the primary purpose and secondary purpose. When I say that everybody is born for a purpose, it is true. And when we are growing up, there is some deep desire inside each and every one of us to do something. However, like I said, because the goal of materiality is really pushed into us right from a very early age, that is what creates the confusion about really having and understanding your meaning in life. Let me start with the secondary purpose. So somebody listening to me will say, I have a central self-organizing aim. And you find yourself, why do you do what you do? Sometimes the reason you do it, you are not your title. You are really the reason why you do what you do, which is your purpose. For many people, some of the goals of materiality is money. So you find today that the reason why somebody is doing what he's doing is because of money. Now, that now when you define has become your central aim, so you have a purpose. The question as to whether this is enough is the secondary thing as we go forward we are going to look at. Money. Social status is another thing. You know, with the young people that are even listening to me, they want to have a certain kind of woman to marry. She has to have this kind of shape. You know, and so you wake up and this central aim is actually driving your life. But if you are not careful, you might not see it driving your life. Or the end of it will end in a position where you might get the money, you might get whatever you want, but then you find out that you are not happy in life. So people have purpose, Nana. People have central self-organizing life aim. The there are what I call 4 human operations, as much as I'm saying what I'm saying. Now, as we go forward, I don't want to go so much ahead, so I want to stay in the question, but the question is so deep that I just want to bring some deep things to light. So I will stay here, and when we keep going and I feel we get to a level, I will chip in something. So the first group of people, self-organizing life aim is what purpose is. Let me put it that way. And when we break it down, I will go into the 2 types when you need me to.
If I heard you clearly, you said you've got 4 categories of people.
Yes.
And I think I would just want us to stay on the first group of people who do not have any purpose at all, because we want to affect, those people, through this interview, for them to rediscover themselves. So, I mean, how can people find purpose or find meaning to life? Do you think it's like sort of shaped by the way that we are raised up? Because I mean, we can all testify, by just looking at our children. We can just we can just ask them, what do you want to become, or what do you want to do? I mean, instantly, even as young as they are, they can just tell you something. So do you think that based on our orientation, or like based on people's orientation, does it also shape the way people also see themselves? And in so doing, does it really affect their finding also their purpose in life? Do you think that also affects people in trying to find their purpose in life?
Yeah, Nana, it does. It does. We are all born originals. There's nobody who is born a photocopy or a copy of somebody else. Every one of us is born originals. And so, like you said, the Bible likened us that we should be childlike, not childish. You see, because people don't get it. The Bible says, be like a child. Don't do the things the child does, but be like a child. There's a difference between being childish and being childlike. So you rightly said, when as parents, those who are watching as parents, when you watch your children growing up, from time to time, they will tell you what they feel they can do. You see, that's why I said that the goal of materiality is driven deep within us. I blame society for what is happening. I blame society for many of the things that is going on. Conversations like this is very key. Conversations like this is very rare. And not only is conversations like this very key, and that's why we commend you for your assignment. Because conversations like this, they are very, very rare. What we hear on the news, and I call it, we are blind spotted, and we are living in what we call the paradox of progress. We will go there. But Nana, purpose is inbuilt in each and every one of us. The first law of purpose is that God created everything for a purpose and with a purpose. That's the first law. God created every human being, everything on earth. The tree has a purpose to it. You have to find it. The only problem is that society is 1, and 2, when we are growing up in an environment that there is nothing to nurture and support this discussion that we are having, then it drives you on a different pedestal until we are now growing, and then you hit a plateau in life. There are many people who are listening to me. When they define their central aim in life, still it is hitting a plateau. You wanted me to talk about the first group of people. As a matter of fact, there are 5 groups. If you want me to go in, I will go in there. The first group are those who are ignorant. They don't know that their life has a purpose. To tell the truth, these are the people that we are looking for in this conversation. They are part of the group that we are looking for, because we want to tell you that there is something about you that the world is looking for. And now, these 5 groups that I'm talking about, they operate in 4 levels. And it starts. And the first level is the level of depression, the level of suicide, and the level of anxiety. And it will surprise you that the wealth and just the research is there. Go and find it. And I'll tell you something. In the UK alone, we spend almost 5 billion a year 5 billion a year battling mental health. Now, mental health is big, Nana, but I want to lower it to people who were not born with any kind of defect. When we talk of mental health, somebody may have been born with a hand defect. He needs help. Somebody may have been born with a mind, his mind could not form well, or his mouth, or his teeth. They are all classified mental health. But I'm talking about the level that is growing in our society today, that news, BBC is not sharing about it. CNN is not talking about it. That's what I call the paradox of progress that we are living in, okay? Especially for those of us who are in Europe, where the person is able-bodied human being, he has no problem with his mind, his hand, but he does not see anything good in his life to live. In the UK alone, the number of people that commit suicide, Nana, you will not believe it. A year, we are looking at possibly 8,000 people committing suicide in the UK as you are listening to me alone. That is a level of human operation because people are operating in that level. When purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Never forget that. Those of us who are listening, when purpose, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking of those who are not in school. I'm talking of children in school at the age of 13. They are committing suicide on a daily basis. I'm not talking of the world. I'm even talking of the UK. If you go beyond the UK, it is massive. So there is a purposelessness going on in society. And because of the way, like I said, the goal of materiality, so even though that people have this centralized aim, it is driven towards the wrong way, which is the secondary purpose. So for a young person or for somebody who is listening to me, money is your focus. This is why this is his central aim, so he doesn't mind killing. You hear people killing just to make the money. Why? Because the central aim we are talking about is money, and he will do whatever to get that money. You know, it is about me. It's about selfishness. It's about materiality. That is what you put on social media. That is what you see. You turn on the TV. This is what you see. So for you to really discover your purpose, that's what I said. Conversations like this is so key. We need to create platforms where some of these conversations will go far. We need to help our young people listen to them and begin to really see them before the world begins to see them and turn their attention and their direction upside down. So that's what
you know, I just want to interject you here. Don't you think that we have a lot of parents themselves who do not have any purpose? You know, also trying to raise children, you know, so it's like a cycle. Parents with no purpose, and also trying to raise children, you know, also with no purpose. So it's like a cycle, and you know, like we don't have any answers. So I am saying that this interview is meant for, you know, such category, because Kofi, I'm so worried about seeing a lot of young people or even adults with no purpose, with no direction, with no vision at all. So I think the problem is, how can people, you know, discover themselves? How can people find meaning to life? Because in so doing, they'll be able to, you know, find purpose, you know, to life. So how can people do that?
Anna, so I think we are riding on that same path. You need to be in a certain position. Like I said, one, this desire or these conversations that we are having really is very, very important. The more of such conversations that are run within society, it will help people to draw people's attention, because you see, you don't have to go outside to find purpose. You just have to search within. The first thing is, for me, when everybody comes to me, I love to hear your story. I want you to share your story, because you see, for all of us, one is your story. There is something that makes you cry, Nana. That does not make me cry. There is something that makes you think. That does not make me think. These things that make you cry, these things that make you happy, these things sometimes that makes you sad, these problems that you see, they are a strong indication of where God really probably may be calling you into. really. So most people, Nana, to make it very simple, their purpose first is connected to their story. And so that's why I like the question and I like the title today, My Story, My Journey, because you can't separate my story from my journey. You can't separate what I'm doing today from my story. If I should listen to you, your story, you like talking. So it's connected to something that is worthwhile. Okay? These are where your purpose is connected to. So for each and every one of us, the good thing is you don't need to search for purpose outside. Purpose is inbuilt. It's society that makes you set things outside. It's actually inbuilt. And I'll put it this way. Before somebody does a degree, before somebody does a master's or even does a PhD, he first has to find that which is inside, then seek to develop it, and then maximize it on earth. We call it this way. You find yourself and you lose yourself. You find yourself and you lose yourself. And to simply, everybody listening to me, begin to like your story. Begin to tell your story, not to everybody, but tell your story to yourself. So that's why I sit in front of you and I say that I discovered my purpose, and like I said, through my own story. It is the pain that I went through. And today I say to myself, I wouldn't want somebody just to go through that pain too, but I want to point that person to get the wisdom quicker and better and use it to also touch many people's lives as well. A strong indication that one has purpose is when your purpose, in a way, we use the word transcend beyond yourself. When your purpose transcends beyond yourself. In other words, so find something within your story that will help you to impact other people, not for the sake of the money, that will help you to touch other people. When looking for purpose, look at what we call the heart of greatness, not the result of greatness. Somebody's central life aim is, I want to make money. You want to become a doctor so that you can make money. That is the wrong way. You are doing that care work because of money. No. Sometimes in life and in society, you may have to do some of these things. But beyond it, we all have to find ourselves. And that question you asked me, to make it very simple, because of late, I'm trying to simplify things for people to understand. Nana, first, look deep within your story. Look deep within your story. Second, you need what I call self-affirmation. Self-affirmation is to really identify what matters most to you. You need to come to a level where you affirm yourself. This is what matters most to me. Number three, because you can make some things like money, buying, somebody says, my purpose, my central aim, if you should talk to me, is to buy a very flashy car. If I get this car. So you would, the young people growing up, you want to dress like Beyonce. No, that is Beyonce's story. You need to find your story. And so it is really on the inside. To make it simple, or for somebody who is asking that question, find yourself. It's on the inside. It begins with my story. Number two, it begins with self-affirmation. Self-affirmation is to come to the realization of what matters most to me. So now, you see, I use myself as an example. What matters most to me for the next 50 years is when many people that my life come with really I'm able to help them to not live in that level of depression, not live in that level of suicidal, because many people are living there. So you see, that is it. So because of that, why am I not mentioning money? Money is a byproduct of something that I do. Money should not be the real reason, but we go to school, we go to accounting school to just learn how to make money, but they don't teach us how to do some of these things and how to find control. So conversations like this is very good. Simply, one, your story, because everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. And within your story, if I listen to you for 10 minutes, I can tell you that this direction, you can go far with it. You can go far with it. So your story, number two, you have to get to a level where it is affirmed. I call it self-affirmation. And within self-affirmation, it must be something that you affirm that goes beyond just yourself. And I believe that if it was just to get money for your husband and wife and your husband and children, you wouldn't be here.
No,
you wouldn't.
No. I mean, just to add to what you're saying, in trying to do this, I think I shared the story. during my first year anniversary, because I never wanted, to stand in front of camera to talk or to do anything, because one, I do stammer, and it's sometimes it's so bad, but then I said to myself, that is also my story, and that is part of me. I can't change it. I can't do anything. But then somebody watching me somewhere can feel encouraged that if Nana, in spite of her disability, in spite of her, standing in front of us, finding it difficult to talk, because we know that people doing such things are people who who are so good, they can talk, with I mean so fluently, with no inhibitions. And here am I, stuttering, as I talk. And sometimes, look, that is not what I want. But hey, this is beyond me. The dream that I'm carrying is beyond me. So I'm thinking, in spite of this, I am here to make a change. And stammering will not stop me. So, I don't know whether you like it or not. I am here on an assignment.
Yes.
I am here on an assignment. So my assignment might not be, like the big names that we know. But hey, I've had, look, when I share with you, amazing testimonies that, I've received, I get so blown away. People call and share their testimonies, how they've been educated, how they've been empowered, how they've been, encouraged to do so many things. So if I had just looked at myself, looked at my situation, I wouldn't. So I am here also sharing it with you, my story. My story. That's one. So Kofi, what are some of the keys or pillars, that can help people unlock their purpose in life?
Nana, that's very good. A very key pillar. Purpose, they say, is in the mind of the creator. So if you look at your phone, for instance, somebody watching me, if you look at your phone, for instance, you see, if the phone is written Nokia and you need an instruction, you go to the Nokia instruction manual and then you read about it. For somebody who is listening to me, I always say that for everything that works in life is connected. Everything is a principle I love beautifully. Everything that works in life is connected. The opposite is very true. Everything that does not work in life is disconnected. If my phone is not connected to battery, it will lose power. If my TV is not connected to the power source, it will lose power. The first thing, again, make it very simple. The first thing is you need to connect to God. Really, the creator of human beings is very, very, very important. For your life to work, you have to connect with him. Number two, I will say it again, your story. I don't want to move beyond that, because that one, everybody has a story to tell. For the last 15 years, all that I've done is to listen to people's story and help them to point to that specific thing. We have different stories, and so your purpose is connected in that area. So if you want to find one, connect to God. Two, your story. Three, I will say it again, self-affirmation. The way to get self-affirmation is to be reflective. So I'll introduce another word here. You need to spend time with yourself to review yourself. You need to watch what you are reading. You need to watch what you are listening. To find yourself, you need to really practically reflect on yourself. The reason I'm saying that is because everything that is not making us to find ourselves is because of the system of the world, Nana. We live in a very busy world where you can wake up, get so busy, but at the end of the day, you find out that something deep within you is telling you that this is not who you are. This is not who you are, even though you are very, very busy. So the opposite of busyness is reflection. You need to spend time to reflect yourself. And when you reflect yourself, you will come to things that really, really matter beyond money, things that really matter beyond just social, everybody giving you a high five. That's the doctor going, something wrong with that. But like I said, there is the heart of greatness. And at the heart of greatness, you will begin to find these core things. So it is in each and every one of us, and every one of us can find it. And the way to find it in a very simple way is what I'm sharing with you. So as you can make this very practical in your life, and within the next 3 months, you will see how at least you identify it, and then how to fulfill it. It is a secondary question where we'll look into it later as we move.
Good. Since you're a life coach, assuming someone is, actually sat in front of you, feels so lost in life, feels no, has no sense, I'll say no purpose at all, feels like maybe, my life, has just come to an end. What kind of advice can you and give to that person to have a definite purpose and vision? How can you help that person establish that?
Very good question. First, everybody is different. So when people come as a coach, you have to be really, you have to be very intuitive. You have to be able to listen to people. But what I have discovered is really to point people to see what they are not seeing. Now, there is something we call the blind spot. Permit me to just talk a little bit about it.
Sure.
If you are very, those of us who drive, because you cannot see your back, they create mirrors to stop you, to stop the issue of blind spot. Because blind spot can make people, and most people get into a zone of even depression because they are fixated. In other words, the word fixated is a psychological word, but their eyes and their mind is towards one direction. And so it is not helping them to see the other direction. And for many people, they are blind spotted. In other words, they see something. Maybe it's only a problem. So that's why I say everybody is different. Many people is only a problem. And life of meaningless is because you have concentrated on a problem. Sometimes just by seeing the problem as an opportunity that will really help you to solve problem, and tomorrow help other people solve problem, you are so fixated on yourself that you are actually blindsided by the bigger picture mentality that is around you. So in my book, A Life with Purpose, I write a chapter and I call it Purpose Pictured. The idea for writing that chapter is really to help people stop being blindsided and then see the bigger picture around them. And Anna, for most people that I've seen, the moment they begin to see the bigger picture, that, oh, this problem I'm going through is actually not to destroy me, but actually can open a bigger door for me to have that, to be able to do something greater with my life. Because that is how sometimes purpose comes with. And I started by saying that. So that issue of blindsided, a blind spot, it's so important. And if there's one thing that I can say, and I will say, is let each and every one of us be aware of our blind spot, because these blind spots are various variety, but it can actually depress you. It can put you at the level 1 of human operation, which I said. Let me go to the level 2 so that as we go up, you will see it. Level 2 people are those who wake up and they are angry, they are fearful, they have no faith, they are afraid, they are angry. Some people, you live with them, they are not depressed, but they just, anything, it will make them angry. Again, to help those people, you must see the bigger picture. The things that make you angry, sometimes and most times, are the things that you can go out there in the world to solve, are the things that you can even study at school and grow up to become a champion and a solution person to that problem. Then there's the third level, who they wake up, they are calm, they are at peace. And these are the people, these are indications. I'm not just quoting words. These are indications that you have found your purpose. You have, it doesn't mean that your life doesn't have a problem, but within the problem, you have peace. You are calm. You are settled. Not that you have arrived, but you are peace, because you know that, there's something greater for you, and that this is not the end of life. 2 people can have a problem come to me. One is calm, but the one is agitated, sometimes even shaking, and depressed, and if care is not taken, begin to destroy himself or herself. But then if you can help these people that come to now move at the levels of human operation and get to the third level where he's come, the fourth level are those who are living life with joy, those who are living life with optimism, those who are living life knowing that I'm facing a challenge, but I'm still smile because I know that I'm going to overcome and I'm getting better. These are the people that have discovered as a very key central life organizing aim that they are living. When you look into society, look into our children, you look into our home, you see all these levels that I've just described. And 1 and 2 are a dangerous position to be in. And like I said, overstep your blind spot, overstep it, your blind spot, and see the bigger picture. And as you see the bigger picture, you begin to go. Another thing is the paradox of progress. You see, now we live in a society, thank God for COVID, that has really opened so many things to us. But before COVID, when you listen to the news, they say that, oh, socio-economic infrastructures, especially in Europe, you go into the supermarket, it's nice. You can shop everything that you want. The news says there is socio-economic infrastructures. You know, the roads are being built, the lines are being there, and this is going on. The schools are there. Banana, deep within it, today, this is what I don't want people to be blind spot. We prescribe more medication for depression than any other generation in history. But you wouldn't hear it. And you wouldn't hear it. So these are the things that plunge people. So somebody looking at his life, he's not buying a car, he's not bought a house, he's not got what society has driven into man, and so he thinks that life is not worth living, and he is down there. These are the people that come. These are the people that are listening to us right now, where you're at the center of your life. You want 3 cars. At the center of your life, you want money. At the center of your life, you just want to buy the clothes. Nana, there is nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying is, these things are not the heart of greatness. These things are the result of greatness. When I have attached people's lives.
Stay there.
Nana,
I just want you to.
Yes, let me say it again. These are not the heart of greatness. These are the result of greatness. So stop chasing the result of greatness. So if at the center of your life is at the heart of result of great, and I've mentioned some of them to you, then you need to change it. You need to search for the heart of greatness. Your purpose is always connected to people. It is not what only makes me better, but it is what makes others better. And as others get better, I am better. Because if I'm not even better, I cannot really go there. So this concept of me is not the center of our life. Because at some point, and everybody who is watching, and you have really been there before, or you are there now, you find out that it is not at the heart of greatness. We can give you all the money in the world, but it doesn't buy happiness. The call to your happy life is to live a purpose-achieving life. And that comes when these mechanisms are in place. So back to your question. To anyone who will sit in front of a coach, or who in life right now feel depressed, feel that life is not worth living, it is a very dangerous position to be. But it is not over yet. The first thing is, your life is the greatest gift that you have. Nana, do you know this? Nana, do you know this? Let me say this so that somebody can understand. Nana, do you know that at the height of human excellence, man can go 40 days without food, without water. He will not die. But from the 41st, he or she must eat or must drink. Go and study Jesus. All the spiritual people. 40 days. After 40 days, you have to eat. If not, no matter who you are, you will die. Nana, the best swimmers can be underwater for 4 minutes without air. But after 4 minutes, they have to come up and take air. The third one is the most dangerous one. Nana, you will not, may we not experience this, but at the height of human life, it takes only 4 seconds to give up and die. The person that is just committing suicide, within 4 seconds, if the mind switch, it is over, you're gone. So Nana, what am I saying this? I'm saying this is that, the reason I'm saying this is this. your life is the greatest gift you have, because it takes 4 seconds. Somebody in coma, who we are hoping and praying to come, you touch the person, he does not feel it, but deep within you know that the person is not dead. Within 4 seconds, within the soul of a human being, 4 seconds, your life goes. So you think it's people commit suicide because no, within 4 seconds, the moment the mind switches, that's how powerful purpose is. So you can, in 4 seconds, you can shut your life down when you lose it at the height of the human being. So that's what I'm talking about, the height of human being. 40 days, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. That is why this conversation we are talking about is so important. It is a life-changing for somebody who is listening to me. And one of my excitements is one of the young men and young women that I have touched and my purpose have linked in. And he told me after 2 months of meeting him, he said, the day you met me, I was just few hours from committing suicide. And this person is or was a master's student at that time. He may be probably watching. He was a master's student at that time. According to the world standard, he's master's students. He's studying masters. Everybody will respect him in his family.
Yeah.
But that was not it. Is masters wrong? And a masters is not wrong. It is right. We go and do it if you want to. But what we are saying is that define your central life aim before you go for which master's course you are going to do, so that you don't go and do a master's and a PhD and you finish or have or don't have, and then life get to that level, not knowing that this young guy was in that level. And now today, as I'm speaking to you, it would have taken 4 seconds when he had gone to his room for him to jump from the 5th floor where he was living to go down. He said, this was what was going on in my head when I met you, and said, thank you. As a sign to help to say thank you, he asked me, what do I want? And he built a website for me. If you go to my website, which I believe you will share at some point, that website was built for that young man. Today, as I'm speaking to you, he called me last week after 5 years, and he's working in IT in one of the best organizations in the Netherlands today, as I'm speaking. Now ask yourself, had he committed suicide, what would have happened to him? Sorry. Now that's why this conversation we are having is so important. It may be one person who may listen to us. That's not the problem.
Yes.
That can get this. And my work is done. And I believe that the reason why God has created this platform is also done.
Yeah, I mean, look, I keep telling people this platform is not a sensational platform. No, it's not a platform where we're going to be discussing about people's private issues, people's marriages issues, and those material stuff. I've been so burdened with a lot of things that for many years I keep asking myself, why this, why that, why, how this. Then I'm thinking, okay, instead of me being so I was being so hard upon myself, why don't I come up with this? So that maybe we can have answers, maybe we can start talking, and then maybe eventually we might, if not solve everything, we might even share or throw light on certain issues, on health topics, on topics important discussions like this. You know what I mean? So this is not about Nana Hagen. This is about all of us. This is about all of us. And trust me, this platform is beyond me now. Just like you said, if like it were to be about me and my family alone, I wouldn't be here at all. But just like I said, this platform is way beyond me, and it's going so far, going to corridors that I never anticipated that this platform will ever reach. And but by the grace of God, through obedience and hard work, dedication, I'll say dedication and consistency. Look, we are still taking our baby steps, and a time will come we'll start crawling, and then trust me, we'll begin to run. Yes. So you watch the space.
Yeah, people's life are connected. We are interconnected. You know, somebody's life is connected to this program that we are doing. And that is why you cannot fail God. And that's why you cannot fail yourself. You see, Nana, the wealthiest place, this is how sad it is. So you understand that life is the greatest gift. Your greatest gift is not a car. Your greatest gift is not a house. But we need to say this because society says if you have car, if you have house, you are doing great. It is, like I said, it is the results of greatness. It is not the heart of greatness. And people coming on need to understand that what we are discussing here is at the heart of greatness. So I'm talking of the heart of greatness. So at the heart of greatness, your greatest gift is life. You can lose it in 4 seconds. You see, one day a young girl came to work and he was shivering. And I said, why? He said, I stood in the morning at the train station with somebody I don't know. We only said good morning. I said good morning, the person did not mind. And we just were waiting for the bus to come, the train to come to work. When the train was about to come, this person on my left-hand side just ran and jumped in front of the train, bam, and died. Hannah, all this while this person was standing with this person, look at what was going through the mind of that person. And in 4 seconds, it's gone. You may not have anything, but when you wake up and you have life, know that God has granted you another opportunity to find your purpose and live life to the fullest.
That's amazing. So, Mr. Kofi, when I'll say that, when people have found, their purpose and everything, what are some of the benefits that they get by finding purpose in life? What are some of the benefits?
And you know what I love? After 15 years, I'm really learning, and the Lord is really helping me, not only biblically, but psychologically, physically. I'm learning a lot. Nana, there are a lot of research that people come on my course, they will find. And let me help you to see some of the benefit of purpose. So that I don't want us to just come biblically, so that someone will say, I'm not a Christian. That is a secondary point. When I get there, we will deal with it. Nana, there are research that suggests that people live longer when there is a worthwhile centralized aim to their life. That's a benefit. You see, when 2 people are diagnosed with cancer, they have done MRI researches for years. I have them in front of me. I put them in my course. So when people come, they will see it themselves. So that you understand it for those who believe in scientific proofs. So the scientific proofs are there, the benefits. It has been discovered that when you wake up when you live at the 4th level of human operation, and let's say, God forbid, you even get cancer, the person who is already depressed getting cancer will die quicker than the one who have a meaning. He wants to see his children become the best in society. He's sacrificing for others. He has something he's working towards, not just money, because money cannot save. You will be surprised when Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs, the owner of Apple, dead and gone, stood before Stanford School. Go and watch 2015. Every one of us go and watch, where he knew that he was going to die, but he was happy that he had emptied himself and was going to die. So his purpose actually prolonged his life. So when you are living on purpose life, not just money, not just want to have titles, not just to have a trophy wife, not just to have a kind of breast, not just a kind of bomb, not that thing. You can get those things, because I'm mentioning them because I look at the young generation going on, and it is sad. They have not understood what God's purpose for their life is. This materialistic wealth is not it. But I'm talking about when you have discovered your central life aim, the way God wants you to discover it, which we have said, you can find it by connecting with God. You can find it from your story. You can find it by self-affirmation and listening and doing things like this. Nana, the benefit of it is, it has been discovered that people like that, they discover better. A research was actually done, and they had 2 groups of people. They gave them money. And now listen, for 3 years, they gave them money. And they said, here is this amount of money. Use it. One group was to use it for themselves. and the other group was to use it to help others. At the end of 3 years, scientifically, not biblically, I'm coming from a psychological background now.
Yes.
They discovered that the people that were thinking about how to help other people with the money that they have received, they lived longer than them that were only thinking about themselves.
Wow.
Yes. This is a key benefit. So I'm not going into the Bible right now. I want to be as practical so that people get this understanding. Anna, purpose is beneficial to health. I've mentioned it. Purpose is beneficial to work and life being and your family. Anna, a growing number of people in the world, when researched, various, and I'll give you Oxford researches 2013, all of them, go in there. When you come on my course, you will find all of them. They discovered that many people in the workplace are not happy with the job that they do. What you are doing from 9 to 5. My question to you is it what you think you should do for the rest of your life? Are you happy doing that? Are you actually happy? Forget this, I went to church to clap my hands and pray. I'm asking you a question. Are you really happy? 50% of marriages end in divorce, including those in the church. Don't underestimate the importance of purpose. Because when you don't know the purpose of marriage, you are mistaken. So purpose is very, very, very beneficial to health. Nana, let me talk of old age. It has been discovered that the more you grow, it is either you repurpose your life to live longer. I'm talking of research. They are right in front of me right now. I've used it to build the coaching school. It's beneficial to health. Because, Nana, there's a difference between job and work. Many of us have jobs. We don't have work. Don't mistake the two. Your job is what you are trained to do. Your work is what you are born to be. They're two different things. Nana, you see that people are surprised that you have never gone to a journalism school, but you are doing what you are doing. You are born to be. It doesn't stop there. Now, when you take up a journalism course, you will get first class. Nobody needs to pray for you. Why? Because deep within you, you are born to do it. That's very true. Because people are thinking you were not trained to do it, but you were born to be. So for those who are again, listen, are you on a job or are you on a work? You need to separate your job from your work. Your job gives you employment. Your work gives you deployment. They're two different things. And we are here to talk about how you can deploy yourself, not employ yourself. I have no problem with employment, but my assignment is to help people to deploy. When you are on a job, you normally live from the outside in. So they don't pay me, I don't go. When you are on a work, you live from the inside out. These are the clear indications, because I want people listening to us to really look at their central aim and find out, do I have a purpose or not? And what do I need to do? Like you have rightly asked. Your job ends when the company does not want you, they will sack you, especially with agency job. Your work, nobody can sack you. So we are here talking about things. That's why you cannot be depressed. When you find it, life will be challenging, life will be tough, but you are not going to operate from level 1, which I talked to you about. So which are you? Are you employed or you are deployed? If you don't deploy yourself, somebody will employ you, and the probability that you will not like it is very high. That is why 7 out of 10 people in the workplace don't like what they are doing, but they are doing it. But the problem is that it can even shorten their life. Yes, you will not see it now, but many people you find dying, and many people you find committing suicide. It's not because they were born like that way, but because they spend their life on things that really did not really matter. to them. This is why, in a way, we are saying we are begging this generation, we are begging parents, even old age. I'm calling for old people because I showed 2 researches that were done for 20 years that were asked over 70-year-olds, what would they have done differently had they come into the age of 20 again? And Anna, unanimously from all around the world, it was discovered that most old people would have found their purpose first, would have taken care of their health. When you find your purpose, nobody will tell you to take care of your health. You will take care of your health because you know that your life matters. Your life carry weight. The Bible put it this way, Anna, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter. It is the glory of King to search out a matter. What is a matter? A matter is anything that has weight and can occupy space. Let me give you a simple example. Gold is a matter. So you don't find gold lying on the floor. You have to dig. You have to search. You have to find. You are more than gold. You are more than gold. So spend time reflecting to define your self-affirmation. God does not hide from us our purpose. God hides for us. There is a difference between hiding from and hiding for. Purpose is not hidden from you. Purpose is like a matter. It has weight, it can occupy space. So it is hidden for you. And as a king, search a little bit. Read the right book. Listen to programs like this. Connect to places like this. And Anna, each and every one of us, it is not difficult at all.
Do you know what? I mean, the conversation is getting so interesting. It's so, you know what I mean? Oh, and because of time,
Yes.
I just want us to talk about your school. But before that, I just want to say a very big thank you to my sponsors. I've got, Yam Spice that really looks after me. And if you happen to be in Bradford, Leeds, Manchester, and you want to, have any nice place to eat and chillax with your family, or even just you, just come to Bradford. There's a restaurant called Young Spice Foods. They, cater for all the Afro-Caribbean, meals, jollof rice, the pounded yam, and egusi. You have fufu, wachi, and many more. And now they are also into other, continental, dishes as well. So trust me, they'll sort you out. And I've got, masterclass. Masterclass. If you're, like if you want your child to excel exceptionally at school, yes, contact the masterclass tutorials. Yeah, they're also in Bradford, and also they also offer online maths tutoring. And if you also want to get in touch with the CEO, his number is on the screen, which is 07578 950 797. Yeah. And my makeup also was also given to me by Creation by Diva. And thank you so much, Creation by Diva. You always make me look amazing. And my hair, was also given, actually fixed by Divive Beauty. And they're also in Bradford. They look up to me. And also my makeup was also applied by T&A Touch. You can also follow her on Instagram. So thank you so much, my sponsors. I'm so grateful to to all of you. So back to our discussion. Kofi, you've come up, with a groundbreaking online school. But before we go on, I just want you to share something brief, if you can just summarize, because I've got my questions here for the 4 quadrants, to greatness. But because of time, maybe we might have to, maybe come back and share light on that, because that book is also, deep. I took my time to read it, and I there's so much that I wanted you to, throw a light on. Let's see if we can maybe talk 1 or 2 about it. I think the power of knowing yourself, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
And also the power of imagination, because many a times I would say our thoughts also contribute to some of the things that we talk about. So, what are the components of imagination and thoughts? It's in your book. So if you can actually throw light on it, I mean, somebody who has not actually seen or touched your book, the Four Quadrants, Yet to Greatness, also written by Chief Amoateng. So it's also on Amazon. And also, where can we find it? Apart from Amazon, where can we find it?
I think you can find it on my website.
Website as well.
The website. I don't know whether you have the link to show at some point. I believe you will do. The website, the books are there. You go to my website, www.purposeachievinglife.com. You'll find it. Wherever you are in the world, the good thing is if you go on Amazon worldwide, you can get it in France, you can get it in US, you can get it in Canada. Wherever you are, you can actually get it. And with your question, let me just talk a little bit about the book. The Alive for a Purpose is really one of probably my best book so far. Is the Alive for a Purpose because of how it came. It came as when I discovered myself and the practicalities of how I went through some of the questions you asked me, the challenges that I've had, and then I put all of them to help as many people that we can help. So Alive for a Purpose really will help you to find yourself. That is, if you want to find yourself, that is the book. That book is one of the best books you can find in the world. So get it and read it. Number two, because of time, like you said. So the second book, The Four Quadrants, is a step above the Alive for a Purpose. I always say that don't read the Four Quadrants until you've read the Alive for a Purpose. Because when you have found your purpose, it is not finished. You have to do something with it. And so that's where the book Four Quadrants was written. The Four Quadrants is really related on the 4 key principles that God gave every man. That is, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and subdue. So, Alive for a Purpose help you to find yourself. The Four Quadrants help you to do something, to be fruitful with what you have found, to multiply what you have found, to replenish what you have found, and to get to the highest level of subduing what you have found. Okay? So there's a difference between being fruitful, in order to being productive. You see, if I have to tie into the course that we're going to talk about right now, you see that what I've done is, this is the first time I have done something like that, where I am no longer just being fruitful, neither am I just positioning myself to multiply, but I have positioned myself to replenish. So if you look at what I have done, it has been for the last 15 years since I can say that I discovered myself. For that 15 years journey, I have progressed from being just finding myself to putting my finding into the ground, producing fruit out of it, multiplying it, and then now I am replenishing it. And you can write a book.
Yes, I mean, on that note, on that replenishing thing, can you just enlighten us on the 80-20 principle?
The 80-20 principle on replenishment, that is a very key thing. The 80-20 on it is you can focus on an aspect of your life, 20% aspect of your life, and produce 80% results from it. That's what the 80-20% principle says. In other words, that 80-20% principle is a very powerful one because it is telling you that you don't have to do so many things before you can make results. You can only do one thing. So when we talk of purpose, normally it is related to one thing. And now let me test you. When I talk of Cristiano Ronaldo, what comes to your mind?
Ooh.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
The best footballer. And also the best goal scorer. The best goal
scorer. Yeah. That is cool. You don't think of anything other than goal scorer. When I mention Michael Jordan, what comes to your mind? Basketball.
Yeah, basketball, yeah.
When I mentioned Beyonce, music. Yeah. You see, so 80-20% principle, the 80-20 principle says this one thing that Nana you have found, this one thing that you found, if you can hone on it, focus on it 80% of the time, with that 20% thing, 80% of the time, you produce 80% results. So the principle is actually saying that to fulfill an assignment, you don't say, I don't have this gift, I don't have that gift, I don't have that gift. You can find one thing, and focus on it. That's the 20%. And focus on it as so much that it will produce 80% results. So when I look into my life, Nana, my mission is simply to help people find themselves. But Nana, for the last 15 years, I'm concentrating on it on so much that it has led me to become a pastor. It has led me to become author of books. One thing, it has led me to set up a life coaching organization. It has even led with the young strikes we just talked about. One thing, but it has been focused on that it's now beginning to enlarge to the point that now replenishment, I've gotten to a level where when I am sleeping, somebody, I don't need to be with you before I can mentor you. When I'm sleeping, you can go online and my materials are there. It is replenished. The word re means again, something getting to the level again. So for it, now that you have discovered yourself, you at a time is coming where inside view will rise to the level where it begins to multiply in other locations. And the time is coming where it begins to replenish. So you are sleeping, somebody's life is being changed, because you don't know who is watching you, but you are getting to a level where you have created the cycle that you don't need to be there for things to work. It takes time, but you can get there. So it is a very, very, very deep things that are open in that book. But obviously, normally take people from the basic and begin to build from there. And see, when your life begins to get in there, then you understand what God says, that you are not just an ordinary person. You are really, really extraordinary person. And you are somebody valuable. Really.
Amen. We've got some comments that I just want us to read. I've got Francis Patrick, and he goes, I'm listening, and then I've got, Glennis SBC, also, just sent the love heart, and also I've got Abigail Chimisi, my own sister, says, good job. And I've got Korea Donko, all the way from Sweden, watching us.
Wow.
And he goes, I have a same story like that. I have a story like that. This is a lot in my life till now, and it's not looking good. For all I know is that be yourself, to know who you are. If you do so, it's going help you a lot. Okay, it's going to help you a lot. So this is also from Korea, all the way from Sweden. So thank you so much for all your comments. We would love to have questions, so that Mr. Kofi Amoateng can throw more light. We don't want him to just come and go so easily like that, because if you have to go back to him, you have to pay. So if I were you, you send your questions so that like on this platform is free. So if you don't want to, pay, then obviously send in your questions, and Mr. Kofi Amoateng will be so happy to answer them for you. I think this is the reason why we had this discussion, for us to uncover ourselves and also to live a life of purpose. Mr. Kofi, we are so proud of you to to hear of your new school. Yeah, can you please throw more light? After educating us, having several seminars, numerous seminars, on purpose. I think this is the right direction for you to come up with a school. And on that note, we say congratulations for having this vision, and we do commend you for that. But why the school? And who can attend your school? And who can benefit from your school?
And a very, very brilliant question. The school is for everybody, like I said, but it is also not for everybody. And I say that for a reason. It's for everybody who wants to be himself. I think one of the comments from the one who is watching us from Sweden He was talking about be yourself. And that is the key thing, is to be yourself. Now don't be your selfish self. We want you to be your selfless self, where you can find something within yourself that can touch life. For me, it is about touching life. There's no point living a life that only touches you. Live a life that will touch beyond just your husband and wife or your sisters. And find something that will touch the rest of the world. This is why God created us for. And this is why I have created that course. Like I said, from a background of 15 years, I'm getting to a level where personally the demand is getting too much. And so I decided, why not build an online school? Because it is rare. You know, there are two types of education. We have the personality education, where we teach math, where we teach English, where we teach science, where we teach agriculture. But then what is missing is the character education, where as educationalists we are coming from, where we want people to find the real, authentic self with no selfishness attached to it, and go out there. And I realized that I've written the books, I've done the seminars, but then more and more people are in need of this. So, like I related to the Four Quadrants, I got to a point where I wanted to create a system that will help people. Basically, that's it, a system. So the course is simply a system that is there. I don't need to be there for it to function. Whether I am there, whether I'm not there, anybody, any part of the world who says I've been calling you, you've not picked, or you are not picking, can just go on that system and through that system. Part of it, like we are discussing, I help you to tell your story within that. I help you for self-affirmation. I help you to unlock that purpose. It's too much to just say within an hour. So you go there, it will take you one step at a time. Find that one thing to self-examine yourself. It was Socrates that says that an unexamined life is not worth living. And Aristotle, the student of Socrates, one day said, a life with no purpose is not worth examining at all. Wow. So this course really is a short course. Now you can do it within 5 hours. And I tell you, if you really do it the way I see it, you will find yourself. Because this meaningless life is too much. So you can do it within five hours. You can do it also in 5 months. You go there, you do what you want to do, you go back, and it will test you. It will bring out the real you out, really. And so that's why I've done the course, to create a system. And as I'm growing something, I've discovered that we will not live forever. Nelson Mandela says something. He says, I've discovered something to live and die for. It is a great idea that I wish I would live to fulfill it. And even if I will not be alive to fulfill it, I will fulfill it and die and go.
That's so profound.
And I'm getting to a level to have that understanding. I pray I will live longer, and I know I will live longer. But I want to empty myself. Again, Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher, said that people should stop thinking that they will live 10,000 years and start doing something worthwhile with their life now.
Wow.
My mentor, he's dead and gone. His name is Miles Monroe. He said that the wealthiest place is not the Queen's Palace of Buckingham. The wealthiest place. It's not number 10 Downing Street or the White House. It's not the oil fields of Saudi Arabia or the gold mines in Takwa, Ghana. The wealthiest place is next door to you. We call it the cemetery. And they ask him why. Because that is where people who should have discovered their real self, but they never discovered, they live other people's lives. Did a job they didn't like until that job killed them. Lived an average life.
Wow.
So Nana, anybody that goes on the course, you realize something. One day, if I'm no more, I want to die empty. I'm not negative about death, but I'm using it as a positive thing for me to empty myself. And that's the level that I've gotten to.
Wow.
And I believe that we all started from somewhere. So I want to help somebody to also help. It's not the money. The cost, if I'm to charge, and it should be more than £400-500 because it takes a lot of effort, hours, time, video recording, everything, research, 15 years. So if I should put money value, but money is not it. Money is not it. It's not it. For me, it's the end product. I will get it, but I want somebody to be blessed, not just that. And this is exactly what I am. I have said today, and I can propose to you and your listeners, and anybody that will watch this today, tomorrow, a year from now, to learn.
Yeah, I mean, if I just urge churches to make space for such conversations, to make space for such training from Pastor Kofi, because I've attended most of his seminars, and I can testify that these, teachings are God-based, teachings that will, that are so practical that, they're so applicable.
Yeah.
And that will change your life around. And also for our youth meetings, can we have, I keep on talking about this. We have churches that are so adult focused and not youth centered.
Yeah.
So now the children or the youth go to church and they feel lost. Why? Is because they don't feel connected to what is going on.
Yeah.
And such teachings will just help our children discover themselves, to have or live a purposeful life. I would also urge men's ministry also to have AFAB, on their list if you're organizing, such meetings, because discovering yourself, it's not something that we teach, and especially where we come from. I would say that it's like we just go to to the university, thinking that, okay, if I become a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is, I'll make it. Fine, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Most of the times we realize that aside these big professions, there's something that really makes us happy.
Yeah.
And that is, that really, these are little things that makes us tick. If you find somebody playing keyboard after the 9 to 5 job, when the person sits behind the keyboard and is playing, you find that person lost. Why? It's because this is what he or she enjoys doing. And this is exactly what Pastor Kofi is advocating. So it's high time, we put our differences aside and invite this life coach, I'll say Mugo, into our space, to educate us. Women's ministry, whatever ministry that we have here, can we have, Pastor Kofi, in our space to come and, educate us. So still, those who have actually, found their purpose, hallelujah. But then for those who are still on their journey to, to still, I would say, discover themselves, can we please be mindful of this amazing, young man out there, willing to change lives, willing to, save souls, because, it's not nice out there. And we want every person on this planet to live a purposeful life. To end this, and tonight's discussion, I just want us to, to see, most of Pastor Kofi's materials. If the technical team can actually show us, the books that Pastor Kofi, has written. He's done, so many CDs. There's so many books that you can, it's on the screen. He's a life and youth coach, personal development, business and entrepreneur, and he's also an author. And his work or his works speaks for him. So, and also, if you want to, learn, much about his school, it's also here. If we can have, yes, a Kofi Amoateng Purpose Achieving Life Limited. Oh, that's so beautiful. And here too, he's also a personal development, youth and life coaching, mental health, well-being, and also business training, leadership training, MLM, podcast, like if you want to, listen to all his teachings, it's also on podcast. And now we have Podbean, we have Google. So many places that you can, reach out to Pastor Kofi and also listen to his amazing teachings. And his number is also on the screen. So if you want to reach out to him, Pastor Kofi is here. His number is 078. Just hold on a minute. Let me just wear my glasses before I miss out any of the numbers. Okay, it's 078 078 532 43501, and I have 01274 500 412 500 412. So if you want to reach out to Pastor Kofi, he'll be more than welcome, to receiving your call. Thank you so much. And tonight I've been so blessed. To end tonight's discussion, Pastor Kofi, do you have anything that you want to share with us before we end, please? If you want to round up for us, please.
I want to round up with just one thing, and I can see people are now. Many people are on.
We can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No, yes, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me now.
Yeah.
I can see many people watching, and some of the comments are still coming. Very, very good.
Yeah.
I want to ask, in my conclusion, I want to ask our audience one question. How do you want to be remembered one day? How do you want to be remembered? If you want to answer that question on there. Nana will see it. Maybe we can read it later. Nana, let's think about this question. How do you want to be remembered? You see, I've already written mine down. So if you don't mind, I will just share mine to encourage somebody.
Yeah.
One day, I would like to be remembered as a man who loved his wife, raised great children, pointed many to Christ, and influenced people to discover and live a life of purpose and meaning. This is how I want to be remembered. So now, I have come back as a young man and working towards it so that this remembrance will be there one day when I'm no more.
Wow.
Each and every one of us must think about this. How do you want to be remembered? Now over to you. What epitaph do you
I want to remember it.
Nana, tell us.
Yes. A young girl from a small mining town called Akutia just came to UK with no experience whatsoever, but then decided to change lives against all odds. My legacy is to leave a lot of Nana Higgins when I'm dead and gone. Women or young boys who will just take the mantle up and say, we will just, we will dare to dream big. And our dream will not just stay with us, but the dream, will be a dream that will affect many generations. So that is what I want to remember for.
Wow. Anna, may God help you to be remembered that way. This video is here. From time to time, watch this last part of what you have just said and never forget it. And watch how your life is going to end. Somebody watching us, how do you want to be remembered? Remembered? Want to be remembered just for one that made money and died? that it's not good enough, that we're popular. Look at Nelson Mandela. Today, look at how we remember him. Look at men, great men. You may not measure yourself there, but you can't also find your purpose and also make this question answerable to you. Don't be remembered for material things. Don't be remembered for living an average life. Be remembered for something significant. And that's what we have discussed tonight. So when you look ahead and you come back, then your life begins to live in accordance to the way you want to be remembered. And it will happen. Thank you, Nana, for having me.
Thank you so much, for honoring, my invitation, to feature on the Inside View. I'm so grateful to you because considering how busy you are and, still make time to help us, rediscover ourselves. And on that note, I'll say thank you. And before I end tonight's interview, I'd like to read the poem that, Malaise wrote in your first book. She said, alive for a purpose, alive for a purpose, alive for a purpose. Why did my mother give birth to me? If I had died, I would be at rest by now. But I'm alive for a purpose. Alive for a purpose, alive for a purpose. Why did my mother hold me at her knee? Why did she feed me at her breast? I would be sleeping by now, like the kings and rulers who built ancient palaces if I was not born. But I am alive for a purpose. Alive for a purpose. Why did I not die the moment that I was born? By now, I would be sleeping like a princess who filled her houses with gold or silver, or sleeping like a stillborn baby. I wish I had died, but then I could not carry out the purpose of God after death. So I am happy to be alive because I am alive. This is so deep, because I am alive for a purpose. Because I am alive for a purpose. Tonight, I just want to ask you, what is your purpose? Think about it. Thanks so much for watching. And see you same time next week, Saturday. Thank you so much.